Yeah, I think it's safe to say that you're a well-known person in the community now. But let's get into it. Not many weeks ago, you left a new era that was your first team and the team you was in for 2.5 years. And you also were a team leader at the end of it, at least. Before we announce the new team, can you tell us why did you end up leaving the old team in a new era?
So again, that's quite a long story. I mean, I'd been the leader in A&E roughly from, well, not the leader, of course, we've got an admin team and there's been a lot of admins in there that have came and went and things like that. So I became an admin in the start of 2016. So I hadn't been in a team for that long, but 3-4 months, maybe a tiny bit longer before I was offering to help and things like that. But as the longer it kind of went within the admin team, the more and more the kind of people who initially brought me into the admin team had less time for the game. So it resulted in me and another player, Savicia. He was another admin at the time. We had a lot more responsibilities to go on as time went on. I was originally a Team 2 player at the time, but the admin who was in charge of Team 1, that was Noops, after I'll be honest, we had a few arguments, we had a few differences, and it ended up in Noops leaving the team. But that then resulted in, when I was becoming better as a player as well, I transitioned into Team 1 and I also needed to take the responsibility for Team 1. So how that kind of affected my decision to leave was after another 2 years of being the leader of the team. So Vissia left about a year later. So I was kind of the sole person in charge for the competitive side of A&E. And of course, a lot of leaders like some Mass, and although they have their kind of helpers like second in charge and stuff like that. But for a lot of the time, I was kind of doing a lot of it on my own with some support from the other members of the admin team, taking care of teams 2 and things like that. But it got a bit stressful after a while, and I noticed it was impacting my performance. I wasn't playing as well. I was spending my Sundays kind of chasing after people, like who's going to be ready, who's trained, who's even going to be there. And A&E, as the team we're a more community-based team. We're more laid back and things like that. So that means as if people weren't really pressured to we need to sort everything out days and days before. We weren't that kind of team. It was just more laid back. But as a result of that, it put a lot of pressure on me in match day if things weren't going exactly to plan, as I needed to contact people, which resulted in me, not being able to qualify for matches, or when I did play in matches, I was, I had a lot of things on my mind, I was stressed and things like that. So it ended up getting to the point where I came into TrackMania, as I said, to be the best, to be one of the best in the esport, to get properly into the esports scene. And I felt being a leader of the team was holding me back. I was having too much other stuff on my mind. So it got to the point where I eventually just said to myself, I actually said it about a year ago, that I wanted to move on. I wanted to focus on me as a player. The teams I was actually mentioning to go as part of XS when XS was still as part of a team, and a day later they disbanded from team competitions, which is a bit of bad luck. But had that actually happened, I wouldn't have even been in A&E for the past year, which is a bit of a thing. But we tried a lot of different things. A few new people came in, like Easy came in, gave me a lot of help, hence why you would have seen we left together and we joined a new team together. But it just got a bit too stressful, and it kind of distracted me from what my original goal was. And I felt it was about time for me to do what was best for me. So that's why I
Yeah.
ended up taking that decision.
So it all comes down to, like you said, joining the esports side of TrackMania to become the best player in the game. And you will say that being team leader and doing all the parts that is required to be a team leader, it stops the chance to be a better player yourself. Or
Yeah, exactly. The thing is with being a team leader is some people can manage it and play at the same time, but we've seen there's not many team leaders out there who can say they're the best in their team, which I don't think's a fair reflection of the people who are team leaders. I mean, example, you look at Harney. Harney was a fantastic player in THE. I remember looking at him thinking he's one of the ones that is going to make it to the top. Not necessarily to say he's not one of the best players in the world, but I feel as if his progress has slowed down as a result of him being a venture leader. If I can draw a parallel between that and him being a team leader. I'm not sure if that is the case. Maybe if he would comment on that at all. But at least that has been the same in my sense of things, is that it's very hard to balance the two, as in taking care of a team, all the responsibilities that go with that, but still being able to focus and perform extremely well on a personal level. I found it extremely different to balance the two. Maybe perhaps as a result of the kind of team A&E was, or maybe just the kind of circumstances that came along with that, but I didn't feel it was going to continue to be possible for me to focus on being a leader and kind of going along with my goal to get better and better and better and better.
Before we close the chapter of A New Era, is there any moments or story you want to bring up from your time in A New Era?
Well, the best stories from A New Era is I've mentioned it a few times in my stream and things like that, but the thing about A New Era, as much as, in some cases I had my differences with some of the people, especially the admins, when we're deciding what was the way that it was best to go forward with the team, as of course A&E's been around for a very long time. I believe it's the end of 2007 or 2008, so it's been one of the oldest teams that is currently in the scene. So of course, with going forward in that, I look back on when we went on meetings together. So I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but we actually had massive kind of team meetings in real life. We had one in the Netherlands where about, I think, 13 people went to it or something like that. We had people at the likes of Marley and Nissa coming in from Norway. We had a lot of Germans coming in. Of course, myself from Scotland. We had so much people coming in, which I thought was a really fantastic representation of what A&E was, and it was a really strong community with people who are willing to, travel such distances just to meet people they've only spoke to online, We also had another meeting in Vienna last year in kind of September, October, I believe it was, and we had fantastic times together. And, we went out, we had good times, we went bowling, we done all the kind of stuff we done together. Of course, me, Mathix and Dutchy, when we were all still in A&E, we had a massive road trip to go to GA. That was like a 13-14 hour drive or something like that. So not many particular stories, just memories I like to reflect upon and kind of look back on as the positive time for when I was within the team.